Hello everyone, this is Cooper Johnson from GridSpace, and I want to talk about something really cool today, which is how virtual voice generative AI technologies can be of tremendous help in the contact center. And specifically, I'm talking about Grace, which is GridSpace's virtual voice agent, and how Grace can be quickly and easily deployed in an almost infinite number of ways to make contact center operations easier and also to improve the experience of customers who are calling into the contact center. And that's a big topic, and I'm going to give you two examples today. It's the BOGO special, 2 for 1, so that we can see the diversity of tasks that Grace can help with in a contact center. But to summarize, generative AI voice technology, as seen through GridSpace Grace, is fully conversational and is a huge improvement on previous generations technologies, specifically IVR. I think we all remember speaking to IVRs. Press 9 to hear these options again, or perhaps just mashing the 0 button to try to get through to a human agent without engaging with the really static, rigid IVR system. Grace is not that. Grace is fully conversational, and through generative AI magic, actually has a lot of skills for what we call conversational repair. Conversations don't have to go ideally, because what conversation with a human being ever goes ideally? If there's background noise, or someone just needs a second, or forgot why they're calling because they had a rough day, any reason like why there'd be a little wobble in the exchange of information in the conversation, Grace has the ability to recover from that and get the conversation back on track. So you can speak just as you would to a human being to Grace, and Grace will understand and can execute on whatever job we want to assign to her. So that's a huge improvement. So let's look at the examples that we have for today. I want to start with one that has been of interest in real contact centers already, and I think is going to be increasingly important, which is where Grace is kind of inserted in the call journey to intercept or divert calls from a certain set of phone numbers. And a reason we see this being done is because a certain set of phone numbers represents customers who qualify for something special, either elevated tier of customer service or for service with something specific, or perhaps it's just geographic for whatever reason, calls from a certain set of area codes you want to divert to one place. Whatever the reason is to send some customers one place versus the general population, Grace is really good at that. And in the example I'll show, Grace is there to intercept calls from people who qualified recently for a special deal package, and can ask them questions to determine if they're calling about business related to that deal or not. And if not, send them into the general queue for customer service. But if they are, send them to a specialized agent who has the training to help with that deal. So you can see we're inserting Grace for this would free up a human agent who has better things to do probably than just to ask if a customer is calling about one thing and then just pass the call on to a different agent. Grace can do this and send the call where it needs to go, which will improve outcomes and everyone's experience. So I think it should be time for less talking and more doing. So let's just listen to how Grace executes on this use case in the contact center.
Hello, my name is Grace. I'm a virtual voice agent with Harper Telecom. Am I speaking with Cooper Johnson?
Yes, this is Cooper.
Great. I answered your call because our records show that you recently selected our business internet feed boost promotion. Are you calling about something related to the business internet feed boost special offer?
Yeah, I am. We got that deal, but I think we broke something, so we need some troubleshooting.
All right, got it. I'll transfer you to the customer service specialist right now. Have a great day.
Okay, cool. So there it was, fully conversational interaction with Grace, who did a little task that probably is kind of seasonal, won't exist for too long, and is too simple to really justify carving out a human agent's time to deal with just this, especially because a human agent would just be asking this, wouldn't necessarily be handling the task end to end. So Grace just sends the call where it needs to go. And it's a much better experience than calling in, expecting to talk to a human being, and then hearing canned recordings telling you to press 1 for options that don't even really sound that relevant to you. So Grace is a huge step up. Let's look at our second example, and I won't talk on this one too long, so we can get into the good stuff. But another way that Grace can really help in the contact center is authentication, identity verification, determining that the customer calling is who they say they are. And Grace is very flexible in that, not in determining the identity of the caller, but in what the criteria are for authenticating the customer. Sometimes it'll start with just the inbound phone number. That can be treated as one piece of identifying information, but most people want to be more rigorous in verifying the identity of their customers for account security purposes. So we'll see here that Grace, in this example, is going to ask for the complete date of birth and the last 4 digits of the social security number. And in real-world deployments, Grace will probably ping some highly secure database to compare these answers against the answers of record on the caller's account. Today, we'll just be doing this in Playbook, where I provide Grace some fictitious information for myself up front, and then she'll compare that against the information that I provide to her during the call. So Grace will check that against some secure data source in the real world, but in the real world, things often go wrong. So if for some reason someone said, oh, you know what, I told you my eldest child's social security number, not mine, we have a retry authentication step where Grace will graciously give a second attempt at authentication. And if that fails, then we'll dump it to some troubleshooting line. But if either on the first or second try, Grace authenticates the customer successfully, she'll send it down the road to be for the call to be picked up by a human contact center agent who no longer has to spend time authenticating the customer and can get into servicing their needs. Okay, you all know how authentication works, but let's see how Grace handles it. And you can see here, as proof that Grace is actually doing some comparison to verify my identity, I've entered in some fictitious info for myself, a partial social security number, and then a date, and a few history nerds. Maybe you want to challenge yourself to remember what happened on the 9th of November, 1989. But here's Grace.
Hi, this is Grace. I'm a voice virtual agent for Harper Telecom. I'm here to help our customers get great service as quickly as possible. So while one of our customer service representatives gets ready to assist you, I can save you some time by verifying your identities. How does that sound?
That sounds good to me.
What is your complete date of birth?
9th of November of 1989.
You said November 9th, 1989. Is that correct?
That's exactly right.
And what are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
7890.
I heard 7890. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. I have verified your identity. We'll get you connected with a customer service agent as quickly as possible. In the meantime, I'm able to help with certain questions about Harper Telecom or account management. Do you have any questions?
No questions today, thank you.
All right. A customer service representative will be on with you soon. Have a great day.
Okay, cool. So I provided information that matched the information that was on file. Grace verified my identity, and before sending me off to someone, just checked if there were any questions that she could answer. And had I had some, Grace would answer questions solely and exclusively from information that we provided to her up front, so that her answers would all be pre-approved and on rails, but recalled on demand using her generative AI conversational capabilities. So to wrap up, that was just two examples of basically the infinite, unlimited ways that you could think to deploy Grace in a contact center in which she can be this new generation, very powerful conversational experience that can make educated decisions on her own, repair conversations, be a much more pleasant experience for customers calling in, and by doing that, reduces the workload of human contact center agents, hopefully makes their job a lot more pleasant, and just is a win for everyone. Okay, see you next time.